Okay, so now I've got the second component ready to mill. I've blued this up on the edge, and I mismarked it the first time. The deeper cut is the one that I want to do, and then I cut it over here. So it'll make a little rabbit here that'll slip into that other part, and this will be the plate that actually holds that other part on, and then we'll have the set screws that go through and press against this. So anyway, so that's our what we're going to build right now. And of course I have to radius these edges to match the part that I did on the back side, and then we'll be able to go ahead and put this together. So then the next thing is to drill and tap the strike side and to decorate it, make it look prettier. I need to ease all the edges so that it's not harsh. If somebody bumps against it, it's not going to catch something or what have you. So I'm going to actually bevel the sides, the edges, and radius the top leading edge so that nothing can be caught on it. It won't catch a purse strap. It won't catch fire hose if that's being used in the facility for a fire. They make a big issue of that. Everything's supposed to be so that it doesn't get caught in a fire or that sort of thing. So anyway, a lot of things to think about. But anyway, we're going to put it all together and we'll start our next process. So I'm going to go ahead and put this part into the machine, and then we'll start milling it. Okay, we've got our back set, our cutter set to the proper depth, and so now we're going to take our cut. We're down, our depth is 173.5, 0.1735 rather, and our width of cut is 0.250. So let's go ahead and we'll get this going. This big cutter shouldn't have any problem cutting this. We're going to do a climb cut. Okay, what I did here, maybe you can see those, I'm not sure. I have to get them in the screen. But I made two little dimples in there. That tells me that that's the bottom. And one dimple right here. That tells me that's the top. So that way I'll never get confused. Since the lettering got erased from all the oils and stuff, now I know exactly which side is which. I won't get confused and mismill it or prep it. I'll bring you back. Okay, we're over at the scroll saw, and I turned this off for a second. I thought you should see me cutting this. I'm cutting the aluminum on the scroll saw. I've got my blade in here, keeping it cool with the WD-40, and let's see what happens. doesn't have to be. It makes a pretty nice cut. Oops, you can't see that, can you? Makes a pretty nice cut on the ends there. And we'll just take them on a sander, buff them up a little bit, and these will be good. And we can go to our next process. Okay, we're over to our next setup here. And what we have to do is we have to take the back plate, one side we have to bevel it so that it can turn down into the top strike part. And with being 1 3/4 thick and that tight fit that I've got, it has to come in and turn into it. So the top side I have to bevel so that it'll go past that. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I've got my tool set up in my machine, and we'll come on over there and we'll bevel that part. So this is the tool that we're going to use, and we'll bevel this edge here. I mark this edge so I make sure that I do the right side. You don't want to be doing the wrong side. So as you recall, I marked the, whoops, sorry about hitting the camera. Let's see, I'll get this straightened back out there. Let's see. Need to get you down on the part, don't I? There you go. You might recall that I dimpled each side so I can remember which side was up and which side was down. So this side is up, this side's down. You still can't see it. This side is up, the other side is, here, let me change that again. Don't have enough angle here. There we go. I think we got it now. So here's our tip. Here's our part. This is the bottom side. This is the top side. This is the corner that we're going to chamfer. Put a little bevel on. And this is the side that has to go in first. So this sharp corner, as you're trying to flip that in, this corner hits the part before it seats. So we have to take this and just bevel that so that the part can scoot in there. So that'll be our next step. I'll get this tip adjusted right onto this, and then we'll do that cut. So this is, let's see if I can get that into the camera. So this is the profile of what I made. This edge is square, has exactly the 1/4 inch I need. Needed a nice tight edge on this side because that's what's going to hold the upper plate on against the wall. But we need to have these bevels to get this up into the unit. So anyway, we'll go try it, see how it works, and then we'll come back and do some cosmetic work. So this is how it's going to be set up. If you notice, as this gets shoved in, it flushes out against the bottom of the plate, the strike plate. That'll pull the whole thing right up against the wall, which is what we wanted. So I'll have, where I have that putty knife right now applying pressure to it, we'll have set screws that will apply pressure to it. And that will hold it in place. So now we're going to try to do some cosmetics with this thing and make it look a little bit prettier. We're going to put some bevels on it and that sort of thing. So that's our next step. Well, you got to see that. Well, what you just saw is what happens when you allow yourself to be distracted and you don't tighten your vices down. So now we'll give it another shot. Fortunately, I didn't tear up my cutter. If it slips like that, there's a good chance that you'll break the teeth of your cutter. It was a stupid, silly mistake. I shouldn't have done it. You need to keep your focus on what you're doing. Don't allow yourself to get distracted. I came back to it thinking I'd tighten the vices, and I didn't, and you saw what happened. So let's go ahead and we'll try it again. Bevels are done. Now we're going to have to set up so we can do this cut on the ends. We'll be 2 inch where we want them. Then we'll clean this whole part up, shine it up, and we're just about ready to go. Okay, we're going to do another setup. Now what we want to do is we want to build these. I've got them set at a 45-degree angle. I just cut off some of the material so I don't have as much to mill off. But we could do this a lot of different ways. We could set our vise at a 45-degree angle and mount this in the vise and then just run your cutter across it and you get your 45-degree angle. You can put it on a rotary table and set the rotary table at 45 and do it that way. But I think I'm going to try something I've never done before. Now I have used my head at an angle before, but it was to remount the inside of a pipe, taper the inside of a pipe for a taper, well, tube. Let's call it a tube, not a pipe. But I had to taper the inside of a tube for a needle bearing, a tapered needle bearing. And we did that on one of our other episodes where we were building kind of a gantry crane. And on this, what I decided to do is, and I don't know if it'll work or not, maybe I won't have enough distance between the part and the head to do this. I've got a long cutter that I'm going to use that I think will reach and do the job if I can get everything in position. But what I thought I'd do is I'd turn that head to a 45-degree angle and do my cut with my head at that angle. Just for the fun of it, really, because I can do it. So we're going to try doing that so you can follow as I set up the head. So, to start with, since this was made in Europe, it was made in Spain, it was sold by a company in England, but it's all metric. So I had to get myself a 30-millimeter wrench to loosen those bolts. Okay, I'm over on the Buffalo drill press and we're getting ready to drill the holes in this. So I'm going to insert my part, and because I'm going to want to drill through and mark those. And we're going to go ahead and drill our holes for our screws that hold the strike in first. We're all going to be, well, that didn't go too well, did it? I'll get a new tip because this one here just flat out busted on me. I'll come back. There we go. I'm not sure what happened to that last tip. And this is just aluminum. I can't imagine that it would be hard enough to bust a tip. Okay. I've got this on a piece of paper because I don't want to scratch it, so it's got a nice finish on it and I don't want to mess that up. Now we'll have to tap it out. So you can see the part finished out pretty nice. So now there won't be any sharp edges on it to catch on anything. So that was the idea of it. It looks pretty sharp, pretty clean. So I can still polish some of this out if I scratch it up, but just trying to take extra precautions. So, and this is the back plate that we finished here. Oops, get into the camera. There you go. So now, I'm going to have to drill several holes through here and then countersink them for the fasteners that are going to hold it against the wall. And then of course this will slip over that. So, okay. So this is slightly bigger than our set screws will be. So the set screw will go all the way in there and center out in the center of the hole. So that's what the idea is anyway. So there we go. We got our set screws in there. So let's see if I can find a set screw. So this is the set screw that we're going to use, and that'll go right into that hole, pressing this against the back of that strike, engaging the tongue. That'll hold it tight against the frame from both sides. It won't be able to pull out because the screw is actually set into a hole. So that'll be good. Well, I got a new acquisition here, and it's a Tapmatic. Should hold it like this so you can read it, huh? Right side up. It's a Tapmatic 1A. So this is up to 1/4 inch. I'd really like to get a 5 or a 50 rather. I've got a 90 that I got with this at an auction, but I'm trying to sell that. I'd rather have the 50. It's very rare that I tap anything that's going to be 3/4 to 1 1/8 inch, and that's what the 90 is designed for. Most of the stuff that I do is going to be up to maybe 5/8 top end. So there's no real need for me to have such a big tap. But I got it, or Tapmatic, but I got it in an auction. This one's going to serve me well. The only problem is I don't have all the collets. So I don't have a collet for the size that I want to use here. So I'm going to have to do all my tapping the old-fashioned way. So we got the bottom bracket all drilled out, countersunk, and I chamfered the back holes as well. Cleaned those up. I did the same thing here, so there's no burrs on it at all. So we're all ready to install this into the strike plate, and pretty much ready to send it out to the job. We'll show you a picture once we get it all set up. So I've got the strike completed. We've got the strike plate installed into the unit. You saw me mill out the inside here. You saw me mill out this here. What I didn't show you is for installation purposes, you need to have the center line of where the strike is supposed to be. So this way, this is a marker that they can use. I've made a center line mark, and I put the C and L above it and below it to help them appreciate that's the center line and the strike. So when they install this, they can set it according to template. And here's the screws that'll fasten this into the wall. And then, of course, this fits into here like so. And then the Allen screws fasten this bottom plate in here. So what will happen is they'll mount this part to the wall, then they'll slip that over it, they'll run in the set screws, and then that'll be a complete unit and functional for them. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. You can see the finish on it. It's very nice. Turned out real pretty. And I made a couple of botches here. I don't think anybody's going to complain about it, but I'd rather I hadn't have. But when I first put down that big bit to take the 1 1/4 cut, I was a little bit off, unfortunately. And I caught myself, but before I made a big mess of it. But unfortunately, I got a little problem there. And on this side, I fed the wrong direction. And so that 1/8 inch bit took a little dimple out there too. So it's not perfect at all, but it'll service the job. And if you're looking at it, if you're looking at the wall, you're going to be seeing this side of it. You're not going to be seeing the strike face of it. The door will be latched into this, and when they open the door, that's the only time that you'd see this strike plate. So anyway, that's what we did on this video. I want to thank you for watching E.D.S. Inc. Shandon, and hopefully you'll watch us again next time. Thank you.